Alright guys, here comes Kylie. Went and picked up a new toy with the sidekick. I have a pretty good idea of what it is, but I'm excited to see this thing. Oh dude, what a unit. On the sidekick. The smoke screen for the
big
entry.
reveal.
Oh shoot, dude.
What you think of my new ride?
This is a unit.
Dude, it feels just like yesterday. We were pulling Susie in with a stock motor, picking up the first ski. Now it's freaking 13B powered, and we got ourselves a fresh 2023 GP1800 SVHO Yamaha.
Freshly coated in rubber.
Oh yeah.
Look at that poor thing.
It's good, it's good. We'll get it ceramic coated.
That's a unit, dude.
So you guys know, when I first came down to Florida, I made a trip over to JP Racing. That's when I first met Julio over there with all the jet ski stuff, and he put me on their shop ski. I went 101 mile an hour. And it was terrifying, but at the same time, it was really awesome. I wanted to get into the jet ski world when I moved down to Florida. We've never been in an area where watercraft is so big, and I wanted to pick one up, so that's where the Sea-Doo came in, and I bought that one just supercharged, already built, mid to low 80 mile an hour ski. Thing's a blast, but I knew at some point I wanted to kind of build one for ourselves, something we could possibly do on the channel. I'm hoping you guys would like to see a jet ski build, because that's what I plan on doing with this one. This is bone stock, 0 miles. It hasn't even been started yet, and I was looking for a used one, but a guy named George from Power Plants R Us actually reached out to me. He takes these apart to put the engines in mini jet boats, and he builds custom mini boats, and he has followed us and Cletus for the mini jet boat stuff, and he reached out to me. He said he had one that he was willing to let go, and I went over to Orlando and picked it up. So I decided to change it up and get a Yamaha instead of a new Sea-Doo, and that's because the long-term goal just to be to build it for straight line speed, see how fast we can get it to go without being too ridiculous. It'd be cool to possibly see 100 miles an hour on this thing. I don't know if we're going to be able to achieve that, but after talking to JP, if we want, you know, like a consistent 90+ mile an hour ski, the Yamahas can just do it a little easier than the Sea-Doos. I mean, there might be jet ski people watching this arguing back and forth, but all the fastest jet skis out there are Yamaha hulls. So it'd be cool to get into some jet ski drag racing. They do it down like in Miami and take it out to the hydro drags. Who knows what we could do with this thing, but she is fresh, brand new, still has the freaking plastic on the seat, and we have to get this thing broken in, and yeah, that's about it. As for my Sea-Doo, that is now Wyatt's.
Yes, sir.
Gave him a great deal on this thing.
Yep.
And now
Finally
you're gonna
faster
have,
than you for a little while.
Now you're gonna have one solid ski on your hands. I'm definitely gonna have to soup this thing up now to keep up.
Yep. Excited to not be the slowest one in the group. Always out there having the most fun, but you know, not the fastest in the group for a little while.
Yeah, so the Sea-Doo will still stay in the family, and you know, you're gonna have like 10 mile an hour on me, dude. Yep. It's just gonna motivate me more to get this thing all souped up.
This thing's slow, bro.
It is pretty slow
Take
right
it
now.
Back. Sell it.
Well, we got everything loaded up, and we're gonna go get a couple braking hours on this thing, because you're supposed to put 4 hours on it before you start ripping on it. And Wyatt's just gonna make sure everything's good with the old skidoo here, because it's been sitting for a minute. And we also got the jet boat hooked up back there. My girlfriend has it hooked up to the Jeep, because we are bringing it out as well, just to make sure it is ready to go, because we have some stuff planned coming up real soon. We got some 4th of July plans.
It's gonna be a very busy week.
The new transmission in the Sidekick seems to be working great. Got the jet ski back there, she is towing fine. Just got it topped off with gas. And we're cruising, boys, heading to the lake. so quiet.
That's it?
We can actually hear each other talk. Watch out for my rooster. How is it? You're the first one to ride the new ski. Yeah, it's so quiet, can't even hear that thing. Let's see a rip. Oh, easy. I'm gonna miss that thing. The Sea-Doo definitely rips. That thing still gets it. A lot better than the old Honda was. That's messed up. So I traded my girlfriend real quick for the new ski. She's in the jet boat. And I just been putzing this thing around so far. Really liking it. This LCD display is pretty nifty on here. And I gotta give it 4 hours of break-in according to the manual, or technically I think it's only 1.5 hours, and then someone else told me 4 hours, but I'm just gonna give it a nice little break-in period, keep it under 5,000 RPM. We are planning on going out to Beer Can Island on the 4th of July, which is Tuesday. If you guys are local that know Beer Can Island, we'll probably be out there. So we're gonna try to bring the new ski, the Sea-Doo, and the jet boat out there. So hopefully this is broken in by then. It is out in the ocean, so we'll be out in salt water. But we just wanted to come out to the lake today, start breaking this thing in for a little bit, make sure the jet boat's good to go, because we just made some changes to it. And I just wanted to make sure that the Sea-Doo is ready to go, and everything seems good. So I'm freaking pumped on this thing. I know jet ski content, you know, might be a hit or miss with some of you guys, but we're just out here living our best lives. Full on Florida boys. Well, I got some unfortunate news about the brand new Yamaha here. Took it out yesterday and we were just breaking stuff in. It has about an hour of ride time on it now. And after we got back yesterday, I was just cleaning everything out, took the seat off, and I instantly noticed that there was an unusual amount of water in the hull. So I unhooked it from the trailer, pulled the drain plugs that were tight the whole time, and tipped it up. Whole bunch of water drained out of this thing, way more than it should have had in it. And I noticed when we were loading it onto the trailer, it was cavitating a little bit, like something had been sucked up into the jet pump unit. And the area that we putz through getting back to the boat ramp, I'm sure you guys have seen it in the video. There's a whole bunch of lily pads on both sides, and we have this little channel that's a no wake zone. And there's a lot of like debris and random plants floating around, so it's pretty common for us to suck up some lily pads or some vegetation. And by the time we get to the trailer, you know, sometimes we're a little plugged up, and we just pull the jet boat or the jet skis up onto the trailer, pull everything out of there, out of the intake grate, and it's no big deal. I pulled this one up onto the trailer. There was like a couple twigs and some stuff in there, so I thought that's all it was. I went to go start it this morning with a hose plugged into the coolant system. So right here, you plug in a hose to that guy while you let the jet ski run, just so you have, you know, water flowing through it. And I was gonna see if there was any sort of leak, you know, maybe something that didn't get tightened from factory, maybe a hose clamp was loose. I was gonna try to see why it was leaking water into the hull, and, you know, hope that there was nothing wrong with the hull. And right when I started it up, it was making this like noise. It was like tut 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 tut, like something was smacking, and I listen up under the intake grate and something's up in there. And I quickly shut it off. I crawl up under there, and this is what I found. So on the way back, at some point we sucked up a whole rope. Look at that. So that had to have happened when we were in the no wake zone, because the jet ski was fine, we pulled in fine, and then just that last little stretch, there must have been a rope you know, underneath the surface of the water. I definitely didn't see a rope at any point. None of us were using ropes, so this is not one of our ropes. And that unfortunately snaked its way through here and sucked up into the impeller and all over the shaft there. And with the hull leaking, I just got off the phone with George, the guy who sold me this thing, and he's saying there's a chance that, you know, if you really suck up a big rope and there's, you know, too much pressure built up in there with nowhere for things to go, if it like puts a lot of stress on the input shaft or whatever, you know, there's a chance that you could crack the fiberglass hull sucking up a rope like that. So yeah, I'm not too pumped right now. Literally have an hour on our brand new freaking jet ski, and we're already taking it apart. So I was informed that we need to start by taking off this back ride plate here, and the easiest way to work on these is just to pull the whole jet pump unit out along with the shaft, so the shaft will just slide out and the rope will just, you know, fall out around it. We could probably just pop the intake grate off and start cutting away and finagling everything out of there, but with the water leaking into the hull issue, we just want to go ahead and pull all this apart and inspect it good and make sure there's no crack or anything. So that freaking sucks. He said the jet pump's pretty easy to pull on these, and what's nice about these is, unlike the Sea-Doo, you don't have to line it up perfectly to the engine. He said it's a pretty simple process. So guess this is my first time digging into a jet ski, boys. I did not plan on touching this thing for a while, but we didn't even get this thing broken in yet, and it's already broke. So I'm not surprised. We can't have nice things around here. Let's go ahead and tear into it, see how bad the damage is. Oh yeah, that's real nice right there. Got our rope out of there. I just got off the phone with George once again, and we're looking pretty good. So I don't have my light with me, but I cleaned up this inside area right here, and it looks like none of the fiberglass is broke. Everything's good. The rope wasn't big enough to fully wad up, and oh, thank you. Yeah, the rope wasn't big enough to wad up or break anything in there. Everything's looking normal. I thought that this hole was looking a little suspicious with all the stuff around it. I wasn't sure that that was supposed to look like that, but he said that's normal. So now what we got to do is get it all back together and fill the inside of the hull with water, just to make sure all of this is sealed properly and all of the bonding material is good and there's not a spot that was missed or something just didn't line up properly when they assembled it. All right guys, got the hole filled with water here. They told me to fill it halfway up on the battery there, and it is over the intake and all that good stuff, and we are looking good. We have no leaks. Everything is good to go. Just got to put the ride plate back on, and I found out why it had so much water in there. It was my fault. I was a just big idiot over here. So when George was showing me all the, you know, features and everything on the jet ski, he showed me this little plug, and this is to flush the system out, and I left this popped in right here while we rode because we popped it in there and then we just kind of forgot about it. So it pushes in and locks. You push down and twist it, and that pushes a check valve down, and when it pushes that down, it opens it up, and the engine will literally just pump water right out of that, and that is what filled our hull. I just got off the phone with JP as well just to confirm, and yeah, that's all that was. So big dumb move by me, but we're learning, you know. Now I know. So luckily the ski should be good to go. It was just a series of unfortunate events that all kind of, you know, made my mind think something was really wrong with it after seeing the rope and seeing the water in there. Just the timing of all that right at once wasn't the greatest, but she's fixed up, ready to go, and just got to put a couple more hours on it before we can start ripping on this thing. There she goes. The old Aqua Tracks.
Dude, out of my life. Poor girl. She's had a rough 2 years, but she's been good.
She made it through though.
Yeah, she never really gave us any major fits, so can't really complain. But it's headed back to Alabama. So
I don't think we mentioned that you sold the Skidoo a while ago.
yeah, the Skidoo's been gone for a while.
Wyatt originally got 2 jet skis when he first moved down with me.
Yep.
And they've been running great up
Yeah.
until recently. Skidoo sold about a few months back, maybe 6 months ago.
This had to have been longer than that, probably a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while.
It's probably been a year. But I
Went down just to the single
I went
ski
to
and-
Virginia Beach to get those things. Drove there and drove back all in like 24 hours. And they were both great skis. Never had any problems with them.
Yep. And he just came and bought your Aqua Tracks, and
Yep.
now you got yourself a nice upgrade.
I sure do. Sitting right over there.
Yes, sir.
What a unit.
Look at that thing, ready to go.
Might look familiar. I don't know. But yeah, man. I'm excited to get onto a fast ski again. I'm tired of being the slowest guy in the group. So
I know, now you're going to be faster than all of
I
us.
know. Had to upgrade.
Got to get some upgrades on mine.
Kyle's gonna smoke me eventually, but for right now, I think I'm king of the hill. I think I got the quickest ski. So.
Enjoy it while it lasts, buddy.
Thanks, pal.
I don't know if the camera does that any justice, but
So loud.
that is so loud.
It's the one day a year to make all the noise. Sorry, neighbors, but it's that time, dude. Have a good old time today.
So this is the neighbor Dylan. He said the parents are good. They'll
They don't
go to
care.
bed.
They put tranks in the dogs and they're going to bed. They don't care.